Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppers. Today checking out some Oktoberfest beer. Probably the only Oktoberfest review of the season because it's really coming to a close. And I didn't really get much Oktoberfest beer because we don't... In Denmark it's super weird. Sometimes a lot of supermarkets, they'll have like Oktoberfest themes. They'll do some German lagers. They'll get like a couple of the big six. Often it's like Paulaner's Festbier and maybe Löwenbräu or... It's also been Hofbrau a couple times, or it's been Spaten, but it's usually been that selection and that's it. I haven't really kept up because I was not at home for most of October. I was in Japan, but I did get to experience 2 Japanese Oktoberfests that I'll tell you guys a bit about. But we're doing an Oktoberfest themed beer today, which is one of the big 6, and it's a favorite of a lot of people. This is the Augustiner-Bräu Oktoberfest Bier for 2025, a 6.3% Festbier. The style you drink at Oktoberfest, it's a very strong pale lager beer that is made for the festivities down in Munich. I did a blind tasting of the entire range of the big 6 a couple of years ago with Henrik. And the favorite was actually not this, although this is a lot of craft beer people's favorite. It was blind. It was the Märzen from Hakopsjö and also the Hofbrau one. Hofbrau one for me. But I think actually Henrik had this as one of his favorites. That's how it is blind. The Märzen was a little bit off, in the tasting because Hakopsjö makes it a Festbier and a Märzen. And the Festbier would have been the one to include, but it's not something that's really been available outside of Munich, I think. And I think they haven't bottled it all the time, but this year there was definitely bottles of it I saw online. But anyhow, we're just drinking one Festbier this year, and it's Augustiner, which will be fun to try in a setting that's not blind and just on its own, because this is going to be the second time I have this beer only. And we're going to pair it with some pretzels, Brezel, that look... nothing like a pretzel. Look at that. I made them myself. So I wanted to make pretzels for the longest time, and my problem is the fold. I mean, this looks kind of like a Greek vase more than it looks like a pretzel. I need to work on the fold to make them look really nice. But I wanted to do them and do them right. And to do them right, it's such a super simple dough. It's just a yeast dough with like water, yeast, salt, butter, flour, sugar. That's it. Super simple. And then the big thing is that you need to dip them in a lye/caustic solution. You dip them for a few seconds, take them out, and then you bake them. And that's why you get that really dark, glossy look. It locks in some moisture in the bread, and it gives that spongy texture on the inside and that like slightly chewy. Or when they're really fresh, because when they just came out of the oven, crisp exterior. And you usually only do like 4% solutions, something like that. It's very, very diluted caustic. And what happens is when you bake it off, it just basically, I think, turns into carbonate. You basically bake off all the alkalinity, so it's not going to be harmful for your health. And the solution is also quite weak. So let's start off with a taste of the Augustiner Oktoberfest beer. There we go. Looks great in the glass. Bright golden yellow color, white head, looks the part, soft CO2 levels. The first, maybe third fest beer of the season for me, because I did try some in Japan. But let's check out the aroma on the Augustiner Oktoberfest Bier from 25. See, prior to this review, I had their pills. This has much more vibrancy and sippiness, and I think it's because of freshness. I think that's the big deal. It's like sippy, grassy, sweet malty, doughy bready. There's a little bit of a sharp citric note to it as well. And then just like nice, fresh, vibrant Pilsner malt. But it's just bright, super clean, sippy, but also soft on the same time. Smells great. Let's try it. Cheers. Definitely fresher than the Pils. It still has some sippy vibrancy, even slightly perfumey hop notes, but it's like soft. It's still like in a Munich frame. It also feels a little bit drier than the Pilsner. Maybe that's like alcohol dryness, but definitely more of a sippy, bright lager experience. Really refreshing. There's an interesting like slight green apple note or something about it, which I'm not sure if it's acetaldehyde or it's just like an interesting flavor profile from something like hops or something. Grassy, peppery, there on the back. Like there's a fairly old school noble hop characteristics to this, and I can't really place it. There's something that says Pana to me, but I'm pretty sure that like a brewery like this would be just classic noble hops, but who knows? Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's like a full body actually, but at the same time it's quite dry. Nice Festbier. Let's try and have it with a bite of pretzel. I'm just shaking off the excess salt. I put way too much salt in these. I was trying to put on a dash, and it ended up being much more than a dash. Let's try it for the second time, but sitting out for a bit. It's so easy to make. Like, it's one of the easiest breads I've ever made. And it tastes exactly like when you get a fresh Bletzel in Germany. And if you're unsure about using caustic, you can just buy baking soda and you can bake it at, I can't remember the temperatures, but you can just look up baking soda. You can bake it to make the alkalinity higher and you can get similar results, but you will not get the same cohesive gloss without caustic. But it's so easy to make these pretzels at home and so freaking cheap. Like I had everything in my household for making this besides the food grade caustic that we had at work. Only thing I had to pick up was dry yeast. So like this cost nothing and I got 10 pretzels out of it. And it took me like max an hour to do them. Maybe I should have spent a little more time just to make a nicer fold. Great with the beer though. I've paired pretzels on the channel before with beer from Sudden Death. This is much better because this is fresh and it's chewy and it's soft on the inside. It's such a great beer food. If you want to make it right, I can't remember the name, but there's like this cheese dip type thing they make in Germany to dip it in. Outstanding. Or just some butter would be great too. But as it is also great. Great pairing. As for Oktoberfest in Japan, how was it? Freaking amazing. First Oktoberfest, a little bit boring. Skytree in Tokyo. Too many tourists. Arrived too early. Walked around being amazed about all the German-inspired food and German beer. So many breweries were there. And you can't help but find it a bit funny seeing Japanese people eating bratwurst with chopsticks. That's like, this thing with a bratwurst on the chopstick. It's like, they wouldn't do that in Germany, but it's like, it's perfectly awesome. Love it. That's how you would do it in Japan. But the best Oktoberfest was that was so much fun. That was in Fukuoka. And that party was on fire. And we tried to time it to be there for the band playing. Because there was an Oktoberfest band playing from Germany, which is crazy. So we went there and the band was setting up. So we went in line, got a beer. Basically, it was like loads of tents. There was even more breweries at this Oktoberfest. We had our first beer. And I'm just like feeling the mood and everything. The band is getting ready to start a parade. And I'm like, hey, we need to jump on this parade. And he's like, I'm not sure, man. We need a couple beers more. I was like, nope. And then it just pulled us into the parade. And it was so much fun because there was not really any tourists besides one American guy that was running around as well in the parade. And we were just running around with these Japanese people, and they thought it was so fun that we joined. And what was really funny is like the German band was playing songs I'd heard before, and I can speak German, so I could kind of sing along. And they were just like they were so excited. And I was just blown away. I was like Japanese people in dirndls and lederhosen that you wear at Oktoberfest. I was just like, what? They really love this. And they just loved that we joined, and we gave all the high fives, and the people, they patted us on our backs and everything. And when the most random thing was, quite a few times you just feel someone do this because we had blonde hair. It was like they just wanted to touch the hair. It was so random. But then we were standing at the stage, the parade comes to an end, and everyone was just like cheering us up. They thought it was so awesome that we joined. That was amazing. And then after that, we went out. It's like, man, this was so cool. I'm gonna try and see if I can put some pictures. Henrik has amazing pictures of this. We went outside and we were just drinking a beer. I was like, that was fun, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, a dude comes up and speaks German to us. And I just instinctively start speaking German because I know German kind of. Like, I can understand it more than I speak it, but I can still speak it kind of fluently. I can have a conversation. And he thought we were German because of that. And so we ended up talking. He was like, hey, can I hang out with you guys? Of course, it turns out he was from Singapore, but a German from Munich living in Singapore who was in Japan for a vacation. And we just ended up hanging out with Japanese and having the most amazing night. And when the Oktoberfest ended, we went to a beer bar that he found online, the German guy, and experienced like the most fun evening with like locals as well. Like they were so amazing. We stood in line. We were not sure what we were in line for. I asked the people in front. They're like, how many people are you? It's like, we're just two people. And then they just ran. I was like, well, I didn't even get my questions answered. Then they came back and just told us they reserved seats for us. It's like, what the hell? It's like, but we're not two, we're three people. Then they ran in again and got an extra seat. Came back. I was like, but I was just asking, what's the line for? It's like, is it to get in? Oh, no, it was to order beer. It's like, okay. And then we ended up just finding them again and hanging out with them for the entire night, which was just amazing. Sharing shots, stories, bad English, bad Japanese, Google Translate. It was an amazing night. It was like the best way to finish like the trip, although it was not completely finished at the time. Wanted to share that story with you guys. It was so much fun. Like, it just, when you're out and traveling, you really, like, I'm usually quite an outgoing person, so I can sometimes feel an inkling, like, especially when you're in a scenario where you see all the people having fun. So I was like, I want to talk to people. And when you're abroad, especially in a country like Japan, you just need to put yourself a little bit out there and talk to people. Because you can feel that they're interested in talking to you sometimes as well, but they're a bit shy and they hold back. And I think that you see that sometimes when you travel in some countries. But if you open up and you're polite and you're nice and you're kind and you respect their culture, their ways of doing things, you can end up having like these most amazing conversations, the most amazing fun. Like, we were talking so much about cultural differences between our countries and everything. It was so much fun. It's like a night to remember. So that was that story, and that made this video insanely long. So let's finish it up with some brezel. I'm going to eat that later and finish up with a review of the beer here, because it was more about Oktoberfest in Japan. So yeah, go to Oktoberfest in Japan. It's loads of fun. In Fukuoka specifically. Although I think it's everywhere there. Augustina's Oktoberfest Bier 25. Really nice. I like this more than their pills that I had previously. I think it's a freshness thing. It's not like I'm thinking, wow, this is one of the best lagers I ever had. But it's really good. It's really good. I think it merits a straight 90, maybe a 92 in that range. I enjoy this one. So if you guys had a chance to try the Augustiner Oktoberfest Bier from 25, let me know what you thought of it. And thanks a lot for listening to the long rant about Oktoberfest in Japan. But it was just so much fun. So yeah, if you guys had this beer, let me know. As always, comment, subscribe, all that social media stuff. And I'm going to say Prost in some Bier und Brezel. And see you guys in the beer review. For die nächste Bierwerbung. Prost.